Taking pictures, it's kind of my favorite. Well, hello there everybody, I'm Photo Dave, that's my boring background, this is Toypixx, and in today's video, picture perfect pre-orders, which are the pre-orders that went up in the last week that I think are going to look phenomenal under your lights and in front of your lens. Now the QR code in the bottom corner is for you to scan so you can get your free action figure photography guide as well as get signed up for the Toypixx newsletter. There will also be a link for that in the video description. And stick around to the end of the video where I show you today's Toypixx photo as well as two Patreon freebies. And now, without further ado, let's get to the video. Okay folks, before we get started, two things. One, everything I show here I will have links to in the video description below. Those are affiliate links, so if you use them, I appreciate it. But two, there's a whole lot of ignorance that's going to show through in this video. I don't know much about hardly anything I'm going to talk about except that they all look cool and they're all going to look good in front of your lens. So when I'm sitting there getting names wrong, feel free to give me crap in the comments. Anyway, we are going to start with something that anyone who knows anything about pop culture knows about, and that is the Mezco 1/12 Collective Golden Age Joker. Yeah, Mr. J here, he looks pretty good. I will say that his face, for me, doesn't exactly scream Golden Age, but when you put the hat on, that does a lot for him. I'm a big fan of what Mezco does as far as accessories. No other company provides the accessories that Mezco does. I like specifically in this one, like I said before, the hat, but also the badge that squirts the acid. I just think that's a really cool touch. You know me, I love extra heads, I love extra hands. This thing is going to be very photogenic to those of you who want to pick them up. So, if you want to, go get them. And if you don't, well, okay, that's alright too. Okay, now I'm gonna kind of speed round it through 3 anime characters, although not like really boom boom boom, because I'm gonna stop the video multiple times so I can make sure I get names right. But this first one is Kenshin Himura. Now, I know nothing of this character. I think I've heard of Rurouni Kenshin or something. This is where you can bust me for mispronouncing all kinds of things. But I do know, looking at this thing, that it looks like there's at least 3 faceplates. There are multiple sets of hands. We've got at least the sword. I think if you're into this anime, I just think this figure looks really good, and I think it's going to look great in front of your lens. My only problem with anime figures has nothing to do with the characters or anything. I just don't have any anime figures in my collection. I feel like that would be an ugly rabbit hole because there are so many and they're all made so well. They look so good that if I started, like for instance, getting amazing Yamaguchi figures whose like comic characters whose faces are exposed and all that, like they're Superman, I just feel like that'd almost be a whole other collection, and whew, the wallet would hate me. But yes, Kenshin Himura, whatever it is, looks pretty rad. Okay, next, from Lycoris Recoil, which I don't know that that's an anime or if it's just a line that Figma's got going. I don't know things, but this is Chisato Nishikigi. And I really like this one. She's got 3 faceplates, a ton of hands, she's got the pistol, she's got a stand. But what I think really is cool about this one is that she's got, I think, three different skirt pieces, maybe 4, I don't know. I was looking at the pictures kind of quick for this. But what they allow her to do is, obviously they're a hard plastic, but because she's got all those different pieces, she can get her legs in all kinds of different poses, like she's jumping and shooting, or she's just standing straight up. There's just a lot you can do with this figure because of those kinds of things. It's a lot of that imagination I like to see, where, okay, she can't do this if we make it like this, so what if we add this part instead? And I like seeing that imagination and that ingenuity in figures, and this one, if you're into it, I think she's gonna look good for you. Now, if blonde and red isn't your flavor, then we've got black and blue, which... That doesn't sound good. Black hair, blue uniform. I believe she's a repaint of Chisato, but this one is also from Lycoris Recoil. This is Takina Inui, I believe. And she's got those same skirt pieces, which is cool. She's got a couple guns. She's got a neck piece, which maybe Chisato had and I didn't notice. She's got a stand. She's got a backpack. Just all the things to make this thing insanely fun, insanely posable. Yeah. If I ever start down the anime rabbit hole, I'm hosed. Now, I'm becoming more and more a fan of NECA, and one of the reasons is this red shirt, Casey Jones. Now, Casey has a waist cut, and if you've been watching this stuff for a while, you know I abhor a waist cut, but I actually saw this version of Casey in Target at one point, and he had been packed so that he was twisted a little at the waist, and it wasn't a crazy, I mean, yes, there was the flat spot, but it wasn't like this crazy, huge flat spot, so I might end up with Casey Jones. But one of the reasons that I'm really digging NECA is Casey here isn't just a simple repaint. He came with extra arms and extra hands as opposed to the gray version, so I'm kind of digging it, and he's the same price as the gray version, so I'm a big fan. I do like what NECA's doing. I love the Mirage Turtles and all that good stuff. I'm probably going to end up with this Casey Jones, and then you can all call me a crazy hypocrite for getting a figure with waist cut, but he won't be the only one, because earlier this week I did a video about the TMNT MOTU crossover where I'm like, I love these things and I feel like my rules say I shouldn't, but that's beside the point. Casey Jones here. You like the Mirage stuff? You're gonna need a proper red-shirted Casey Jones. If you haven't gotten him already at Target, that is. And now, we've got MacReady! Or MacReady. I'm not really sure. I've never seen the thing. I'm not much of a horror films guy. The only one I've ever actually seen is Halloween, so if you've got some suggestions for some horror flicks that I need to check out that are as good as Halloween, let me know in the comments. But you know I'm gonna love a figure like this. He's got an extra head, he's got multiple hands, dude's got Molotov cocktails. Now, like I said, I haven't seen it, so I have no frame of reference, but he has enough stuff, and NECA always brings it with the detail, and it looks like he's got decent articulation. I can't tell from the images if he's got a ball-jointed waist or if it's going to be a waist cut, so I don't know. He's not a figure I'd get anyway, but he looks so good, I figured I had to throw him on this list in case you'd like to pick him up. But yeah, it's a good-looking MacReady. Closing out the NECA portion of the program, we have the black and white version of the creature from the Black Lagoon. Now, I've also never seen any of the old Universal Monsters movies, so feel free to judge and comment below and just give me a whole lot of crap. I'm not too worried. But I have seen reviews of this guy, the full color version. He looks like the articulation is insane, and hopefully this is the direction NECA starts going when it comes to articulation. He also has 8 total hands, 3 total heads. He's an impressive looking beast. I mean, I believe the one that really highlighted it for me was Unparalleled Universe's review of the full color one. And if I were into this stuff at all, I would have grabbed that, because that truly looks like a phenomenal figure, and if you're into the black and white versions of those Universal monsters, this obviously is also going to be a phenomenal figure. From I8 Toys, which, ladies and gentlemen, that's the kind of thing that can give you indigestion, we have Katherine. Now, I don't know anything about this figure. I don't know if she's supposed to be a knockoff of something else. Maybe she's just a whole original design, but however you slice it, What I'm really impressed with here is how well the cloth goods seem to fit her, how well her articulation moves, and all the stuff that comes with her. She's got tons of extra hands, she's got a harness, I believe she's got like knee pads or something going on, she's got that crazy coat, which the coat on one hand, I say, I don't know that looks very good cloth goods wise, but on the other hand, I do know they make a lot of oversized coats like that, so maybe it works, but I'm just impressed by this thing. Now, one thing that weirds me out is people like taking photos with her in their hands. I don't know why, but she has that look where she looks like she could blend in with a more realistic looking line or collection such as mine, and that's got me tempted. She just looks really cool, and I can't really say much more than that. It's Katherine. If you also think she's cool, go pick her up, because I don't have a reason, except for the fact that she's cool. Next up, from Golden Age Toy, are the Bonehorn Minotaro Assault and Shadow Troops. Ladies and gentlemen, these are minotaurs that look insane. They come in red flavor / assault or blue flavor / shadow. And I have to say, I think the shadow one, the blue one, I think I like that a little more, just because of the craziness of the blue, although red's kind of crazy too, but the way that they did the colors on the blue one versus the red one, they seem to work better for me. Let me know in the comments which one you're thinking looks better. But I'm loving the detail that Golden Age Toy put into these. I'm loving the extra hands, I'm loving the weapons, I'm loving the extra head. I'm loving the samurai armor. Like, the paint on these look ridiculous. I think the articulation, when I look at the waist, just from looking at a couple pictures of the Shadow Troop, I'm thinking it's a ball joint. I can't tell 100%, but he looks like he's kind of bent at the waist like that, and there doesn't look like there's hardly any room for any kind of diaphragm joint, which I'm okay with in this instance, because they're wearing armor. They're not going to be too crazy articulated up there. There is a touch of realism in my expectations. If it's armor, I'll let things like diaphragm joints slide, because I'm altruistic. I have no idea how that fits into any of this, but just know that looking at these things has me really, really stoked, because they just look good. So if you want them, go get them. And now, the moment I've all been waiting for, folks, we have from ThreeZero the Transformers MDLX Sideswipe. Now, I'm crazy stoked about this for multiple reasons. The first, I'm loving the MDLX line. This line is what I want from Transformers. The only thing that could make it better is if they could make Transformers look this cool that's still transformed. But either way, I am loving this line. Last year, Optimus Prime from the MDLX line got my figure of the year, and this year, Megatron's looking pretty good, and I think I should still get Rodimus before the year's out. So yeah, when you're an MDLX fan, you're eating good. And when I'm looking at this Sideswipe, I'm loving what they've done. I love that he's got kind of the exhaust on the inside of the legs. I love that he's got the, like, the shoulder or the forearm panels sticking up like that. I just think this thing looks ridiculous. And the reason that I'm really stoked about this Sideswipe is what it means for the longevity of the MDLX line. If they're going as deep as Sideswipe already, now granted there are a lot of repaint possibilities with him, then granted, they gotta be thinking, okay, next we're gonna do a figure like Grimlock or Soundwave, because those are two heavy hitters that normally you would think would be in the line before Sideswipe. So I'm thinking that the MDLX line kinda has legs, and I'm really stoked about it, especially considering the fact that they don't necessarily release in rapid succession. You know, I've only gotten 2 this year. I got Nemesis Prime at the beginning, and I just got Megatron in the last month. So it's not like it's a crazy expensive line as long as you started early. And even if you didn't start early, you can start now, take the hit at the beginning, and then maybe spend $200 to $300 a year, which is a lot of money, no doubt, but so far, I'm good with it. But yeah, man, these MDLX Transformers, I'm stoked. I don't know how you can't be if you're a Transformers fan. Seriously, if you're a Transformers fan, you need to start loading up on this line. And those, ladies and gentlemen, were my thoughts, my opinions on the pre-orders that showed up in the past week that I think are going to look incredible under your lights and in front of your lens. But you might think I'm wrong, so let me know in the comments, did I miss anything? Also, are you picking any of these up? Are you passing by all of them? Am I full of crap? Just tell me all the things in the comments and let's have a discussion, because I'm going to start actually responding again. I've got a little more time. I'm kind of figuring this whole internet thing out. And now, it's time for the Toypixx photo. The photos I've shot this past week are, well, mostly they're pretty desaturated, and I wanted to change that for this photo. So in this photo, I did, and I used the Medicom MothX Hush Batman as well as the Medicom MothX Hush Spider-Man to give it kind of a more colorful and goofy feel. Made me happy, was fun. So here it is. And now remember, scan that QR code so you can comment with your own photos. This was technically up yesterday on what I call Independence Day, because Medicom is an independent company, even though DC Comics and Marvel Comics aren't really independent companies themselves. So, scan that so you can comment on the X/Twitter, you know the old thing, whatever Elon feels like calling it today, because that's where the fun's at. And now, off to the 2 Patreon freebies. The first of today's Patreon freebies is this living room backdrop. So what you do is you put it on your monitor and you can use it as kind of a digital wallpaper, a digital background, so that you can stand your figures up in front of it, light them up, and snap away. Now, the kind of characters I was thinking for this are street-level heroes like Spidey and Luke Cage and Daredevil and pretty much any member of the Bat family. I'm thinking anywhere that just a neighborhood fight can happen where they're throwing down with one of their arch nemeses. That's kind of maybe the aftermath, or it's happening while the fight's going on. So if you dig it, scan the QR code, head over to the Toypixx Patreon page, and download it. And if you like things like this, feel free to join any of the tiers. There is a free tier, so you can get on there. Everything I post up there right now is for free. So go ahead and follow Toypixx on the free tier, and then there's the paid tiers where you can kind of guide Toypixx. You can sort of steer the ship, if you will. Check those out. If you're interested, game on, but you should definitely join that free tier. And now, let's get to that second one. The second Patreon freebie of the day are the high-res images and the Photoshop files of all the pictures that I've taken this past week. Now, the reason I do that is so that if somebody just digs the photos, they can grab them for their wallpaper, or maybe they can print them up and hang them somewhere. I also enjoy the fact that maybe marketing for smaller shops, like smaller comic shops and toy shops, could use these images to help themselves out. Maybe they have a hard time coming up with images on their own, or they can't pay to bring somebody in to do the graphics for them. So they could use these images and put them on their newsletters, put them, in their shop somewhere. So hopefully it'll help them out, help them make a little more money. And of course, the Photoshop files are there in case you have somebody that's getting into photo editing and they want to see how I structure my stuff. Or maybe it's somebody that's been doing photo editing for a long time and they still want to see how I structure my stuff, so they can see if it's better than the way that they do it, or if they want to stick with the way that they do it. That was a pretty anticlimactic way to finish that, wasn't it? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all I've got for this one. So as always, thanks a ton for taking the time to check out this video. It is always massively appreciated. And until next time, have fun and happy snapping. See ya.